All now, let me put that in dollars and cents for you. I just looked it up yesterday. If you get to 100% disability, you're talking about $3,822. So this is real. This is dollars and cents we're talking here. And I wanted to ask you. I've heard that some of the veterans actually get retro money once they hit that. So I was talking to one gentleman, and he told me he got $40,000. It's what my company at Healing Our Village and all my physicians, because I have a number of physicians, I have cardiologists, I have endocrinologists, I have behavioral health doctors. We have all committed to how you fill it out and how you write your note. You have to say it a certain way that the folks at the VA are looking for. It decreases your ability to get up to the higher number.
It is the most critical step in the claim process. And that's one of the problems that we're having as we try to extend our services to homeless veterans. Veterans is correctly, you can get that 100%.
Yep.
And what is happening in our community is that you see a lot of veterans, and at least two veterans in the meeting today. $1 different. Roughly. That's $1,000 for 10% more. And that 10% more comes through the medicals. Now, VA has a lot of rules that's been covered up by the bureaucracy. I mean, I'm an ex-VA employee, so I can talk about them. It's not the employees, it's the culture.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually the culture at VA that makes it, well, it's all on the news. We got the worst VA in the country. Now, they basically talking about the medical center. But I'm inviting the senator here to talk about the benefits administration, because what you said about the income inequity in the process, and how the VA is mishandling these claims rather than exercising the duty to notify, the duty to assist, which is basic to the claim process. They review the records now and don't even do that. They'll see stuff in the records, and there used to be, now I don't know whether they review the whole record every time they get a claim now, but they used to be mandatory. If the VA is duty bound, if they see anything in your records that's to your benefit, they're duty bound to notify you and to assist you with developing the evidence needed to get that benefit. We just don't have that.
No.
We don't have that because the doctors, now I'm going to say this about the doctors at the VA, it's more of a culture than anything else, because I was a VA employee when I got medically retired. And I had a 1-page, 2-paragraph letter that gave me the 100% coming from my doctor that I used to sit in morning meetings with. You know, so I realized then, I said, well, why is it so hard for other veterans to get these same kind of things? Well, I was a problem maker. You know, I'm an advocate, you know. So the culture at VA right now denying our community billions of dollars a year.
Billions of dollars.
And veteran benefits. So I'm just excited, Doc,
to
have you on the team.
Okay, well, I'm here. I'm definitely on the team. You the captain of the team, but I'm on the team. Can I just say kind of who I am to your audience,
please,
and then
please.
I have this beautiful lady over here, and she's a veteran, so I want her to introduce herself. So I'm Dr. Lenore Coleman. I am the president and founder of a company called Healing Our Village. As I said, I'm 71. I've been at this for 45 years. I'm from California, but lived in D.C., lived in Maryland, and I've been here in Georgia since 2012. And what I have dedicated my life to is trying to make sure that African Americans and other populations of color live and not die. So this is a spiritual, purposeful walk for me. This is I call it kingdom work, Pastor.
Kingdom work, yeah.
I'm doing kingdom work. And I'm really serious. So in February, the Lord dropped on my heart that I needed to help veterans. And I had some experience because I was the chief of ambulatory care at the VA Sepulveda. So I really understand the veteran culture. And so I had a meeting with some different agencies and people that worked at the VA, and they sort of came up with what they said was the issues. And the issues are claims, Then second to that is housing. So we have folks that don't have a place to lay their head at night. That's not okay.
No, it's not.
All right, people need to be able to have a place to lay their head at night.
And let me interject something.
Please.
You just said something that I need to discuss because of Fulton County Veteran Service Program. It's a program that we got Commissioner Arrington and Pitts to set up. The Veteran Service Program been in operations going the third year. They put in millions of dollars onto this program. And giving it out in the community to an organization that's supposed to be addressing the issue of veterans, right?
Right.
Now, one of the things they did this year, they expanded the number of vendors that they gave money to, so that means that they didn't give out as much money to the vendors that they did last year. And they gave out 20. They had 24 vendors that they funded. 21 of those vendors was for homelessness. You had 3 for mental health. The city of Atlanta has $25 million for homelessness. East Point, College Park had money for homelessness. They got 12 barracks empty at Fort McPherson where I was discharged from.
Okay.
Been sitting there empty when the VA went out there, and I think they took 3 of those barracks and renovated them, right? Spent millions of dollars in renovating barracks when they could have took all those barracks and took every veteran off the street. So I'm advocating right now for all of these stakeholders to come together and talk about homelessness, because I think we got people getting money in the name of veterans, of homeless veterans, that's not really addressing the issue. They you know, I don't see it in my community, and my home is like less than 2 miles from this station. So
Wow.
I'm on Cleveland Avenue all the time. Now, one of the problems I find that a lot of the veterans that I see on Cleveland Avenue have other than honorable discharges. So they see that as a problem, right?
Right,
And
right.
it is a problem because some of those discharges shouldn't be dishonorable. They shouldn't be other than honorable. They should be honorable because of the culture of the military. So we began to start trying to address that with the claim system.
Right.
And it works if you can just find an address for these guys and get them in stable. I stopped doing stand down because it's a clown show, really. You know, they have people come out there once a year, give them some backpacks and some stuff, and they don't have any social work in there.
Right.
No,
Right.
you know, no social workers in there to help the veterans look at the issue that's causing them to be in that predicament.
Yeah.
So now we have you.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm gonna work you. I'm gonna tell you that now. You came to somebody that
Okay, please put me to work.
I think it's kingdom work too. I think that I was called. This is my calling.
Yes.
You know, my heart is for veterans because I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran that was wounded in combat in Vietnam in 1968. Because of the culture, I was not service connected to 1984. I was wounded in combat. I got a Purple Heart. I got all kind of stuff that show my MOS was infantry. So I'm on the front line along with a lot of other people that look like me.
That's right.
If you look at the military today, still, it's the most integrated. It is the most effective part of our community because of diversity. See, some people want us to think that we are not better together, but we are.
Yeah.
You know, we're better together. So I like the idea that you're doing kingdom work, because that's what I feel like
That's
I'm
what
doing,
I'm
kingdom work.
Kingdom work.
Because I feel like this, when all God's children come together on one accord, we're going to make a difference.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have some changes. We're not going to see people homeless, whether they veterans or not. They shouldn't be homeless.
Yeah.
Not in a country that where we got, you know, the top class people got. I think Oprah Winfrey got 7 or 8 houses in 7 different states. I don't know how many Tyler Perry got.
Oh
But
man.
you know, but that all of those opportunities came to them because of our service. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your acknowledgement.
So all this service that we run is to make sure that we had these opportunities to open up all these great opportunities that we have in this country.
Yep.
And we got a situation right now where 2% of the population own 90% of the wealth. And we got income disparities that creates homelessness.
Yeah.
They actually create homeless. I think veterans, I'm at 100%, been at 100% since they medically retired me in VA at 2002. I still think that my income should be at least $75,000 a year. You know, because that is the income that will make you live a little bit above the poverty line.
Exactly.
With this economy.
With the economy.
So, the only way we're going to be able to change that, I think, Doc, is by forming collaborations with people that got a heart that you have for veterans, so that we can get those billions of dollars.
Billions.
Billions.
It's not millions.
You know, billions that should be coming into our community every day. But they're not coming in because they ain't got no DBQs.
Right. And we're not working together either.
Yeah.
So it's just so important that we have to be pulling together. You know, you're going to see as you talk to me, I do a lot of Bible, Pastor. So the story of the Good Samaritan, if you get into that and really read it, when he put that man on that horse, he took that man to where? Have somewhere to lay his head. And he paid for that innkeeper.
He paid for it.
And the thing that a lot of people didn't see about that story, he told that innkeeper, I'm going to come back and check. Because if you need more money, I'm going to give it to you. More. That's what he said.
And see, what bothers me, like I'm from a VA like you, the VA this year got $307 billion budget. It is like the third highest budget in the federal government. Why do we have homeless veterans?
I want to ask you, why are there bases all over the country that have these same barracks you're talking about, and they're empty?
Yeah, they're empty.
I don't understand that.
I'm going to tell you what it is. We're not electing the right people to government.
Yes.
So I'm encouraging young veterans. See, if I had any stability when I came, I would have ran for office. But now, that's over. But I got to encourage some of these young veterans. They need to run for office.
Yeah, they do.
Because I think they got the experience and the empathy to serve our people.
Yep.
See, what we got hate groups dominating politics right now. And politics has become so toxic that my generation don't want to vote. They don't want to be bothered with government. This is our government. We got to take charge of this government so it'll do what it's supposed to do. Or these 2%ers gonna have us back in slavery.
Yeah, that's right.
Could you introduce this young lady?
Yes, this is Gabe Herlock. Gabe, tell them who you are.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabe Herlock. I'm the founder of Tribe Arts Consulting. I'm also an Air Force veteran. I spent 7 years in the Air Force serving overseas and in Afghanistan. I was an A-10 crew chief, so I was out there turning wrenches. I did grow up in Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm also a proud Jamaican, so I like to call myself a Georgia coconut. But this topic is very near and dear to my heart, not just because as a businesswoman, I really try to help people find the equity, stability, and sustainability to run these resources and wraparound services for marginalized communities, youth, women, children, and veterans, of course. And one of the biggest initiatives that I'm so happy and proud to be a part of is working with Healing Our Village with Dr. Coleman. And I was just immediately impassioned by her passion, just as someone who is not just a healthcare provider, but who's already doing the work. Yes. And that kingdom work is very intricate in building such a positive foundation for a project that is going to change many lives. Yes. And I do agree, we have to get to a place as a community in cooperating with each other again, and actually encouraging each other to do this difficult work, because God's work is not going to be the easiest work. It's going to come with because it's your heart in this. Faith without works is dead. So not just putting the intention out there that I want to do good. It's different to show appreciation. It's another thing to provide a resource. Going back to that old saying about teach a man to fish versus just taking him fishing or giving him a fish rather. And so this is a work that I'm very, very much looking forward to. As far as my role, and how we're going to be spreading this message, working with different sponsors and venues. And I'm very much looking forward to the fundraiser we got coming up as well.
Yeah, we're about to do a fundraiser. I'm speaking it into existence, Pastor, where we're going to do a resource fair, but there'll also be a concert. And we're Chubb Rock. I just talked to him this morning, so Chubb Rock is going to be at the concert, and we're going to get a few other, key singers as well. And it's going to be, for veterans. So now we're going to go out here and get some sponsorships. That's why I brought Gabe on board, because she's really good at that. And we're going to get some sponsors. So hopefully we're going to open up and give away some tickets to veterans. First come, first serve. So Chubb will announce it on his show. And then they're going to have to get on the Eventbrite or whatever we hook up. But the reason for the concert is I want to build villages all over the state of Georgia. And I want these villages to be able to have 50 to 100 tiny houses. Some of them will be 1 bedroom, some will be 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, but there'll also be just buildings, because some people like to live in the same building with each other, and as a sense of community. But it'll also have a small clinic. It'll also have a food pantry. But most important, what you said, is workforce development, job training. So we're going to have the trades, of course. We'll do electrical, plumbing, flooring, all of that good stuff. And they'll be able to train in that and then help us build these tiny houses all over the state. That's the vision. But then we'll also, because I'm a pharmacist, I'm in allied health, we'll be pharmacy technicians, community health workers, certified medical assistants. So all of those will also be trained at these locations. And then each village will be a little different. There'll be veterans villages. There'll be villages for the moms with the kids. There'll be villages for the kids getting out of the prison system with nowhere to go. There'll be a place for the kids who are aging out of foster care with nowhere to go. If you just drive down the streets of Atlanta, I very seldom come down there because it breaks my heart. I can't see these folks sleeping on a sidewalk with their worldly belongings in a black plastic bag and a grocery cart. And if you're talking about Cleveland Avenue, you drive up and down Cleveland Avenue, you're going to see that.
Well, we got a whole homeless enclave right up there that you can't see it unless you go into it. It's just tense. But that breaks my heart. But you were talking about fundraisers. I want to let the audience know that we are about to start the Brickathon, the commemorative Brickathon for the Sons of Atlanta Vietnam War Memorial. What is that? We are selling, now that the memorial has been funded, it's been funded for construction. We still got to do some amenities to that. And the amenities is the installation program. And we got to have an app. We're getting an app developed where you can actually have all of these honorees, that over 240 different young men that were killed in the Vietnam War are during the Vietnam War era while they were serving in the U.S. military. Now, why did we put that addendum on there? Because we had a lot of black young men, and especially in the Navy and in the Air Force, that were killed because they didn't want them in the Navy or the Air Force because of the color of their skin. So we recognized that we was breaking the color barrier. We started breaking the color barrier, and it was not an easy breaking. We was fighting two wars at one time. So our memorial speaks to that, but the memorial is a call to unity for veterans and our communities to acknowledge and honor our collective sacrifices. What we sacrificed for was this country, pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's what we serve under. That's what we pledge to do every day. And now that we start opening up these opportunities for that, we see this ugly spirit raising up again. And we got to put it down. And the only way to put it down is that we all come together. And we can come together and share our common assets for the common cause. And I think that our memorial is calling on that. And so we're giving everybody, now we have 12,000 slots where we can put bricks in that foundation of the memorial. If you go online, sonsofAtlanta.org, you can look at the memorial image. You can see what we've been doing with the memorial. And you can actually see the faces of these young men. We got photos. They got actually little profiles on each one of them. But you will have the opportunity with this brick. You can buy a brick right now today, starting at $100 up to $1,000, depending on where you want your brick in that Memorial Plaza. But on October the 11th, next week, we will start the commemorative brickathon, meaning we're going to start running this on TV, radio, social media, all the organizations that are in our collaborations, so that we can sell these bricks. That will give us the money we need to start the extension program as well, going into the communities. And we're going to get you to come into some of these places where we're at before you get to villages, because we already we got these villages. We need to start working on them now.
Yes.
And so we're working through the community centers and the libraries. We're going to have units in there that's going to be running 6 days a week.
Okay.
6 days a week. We're going to be in community centers and libraries with information and resources.
Right.
Not just talking about it. We're going to be about it. And the way we're going to be about it, we're going to sell these bricks. We're selling these bricks. And if we sold all 12,000 bricks, that would give us $1 million to start that with. So that will help us empower some of the organizations that's in our collaboration, and showing them that we got to come together and start raising funds. Man, we got another fundraiser we're going to be doing pretty soon too.
Okay.
We're going to
all right.
have all of our collaborative community partners come together in Lakewood Amphitheater.
Oh, okay.
We're going to do a fundraiser there that's going to rock the city. You know. Now let me get to politics for a minute.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go.
I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican either. I have voted for both parties, depending on the individual that was running for office. Today, we got something that we need to stop and take a look at, because it's something that need to be done, and we need to run back to what Malcolm said one time before. Sometimes we have to look at the lesser of the two evils and make a decision which one we're going to deal with. Right now, I'm so distorted about my community, which is African American, because we will let people say things to us that don't make sense, and we listen to it and we repeat it. We come at it. And when you said you were Jamaican, you know where I thought, right? I'm gonna just say this. And I was with one yesterday that looked like men that said that Kamala Harris is not black. I know that her dad is Jamaican, so I'm trying to figure out what happened there. I mean, you know, when you said Jamaican, I said, it just brought this ugly thing back up, that they're going to try to use that as a wedge between us, to separate us. And they got us going for it.
Well, do you want to hear my thoughts on that?
Yes,
because
I
think
did. That's
it's interesting that you bring that up. You know, I can only speak for myself, but just from where I stand and what I've come to experience just in the Western society, serving in the military, all these different groups that I'm a part of, is that black, I think, as a signal of community, like we are one and the same, or we are very likely going through the same struggle. Black is really a thought process. It's a mindset. Because as you know, we can meet people who may look very much identified like they're one of us, and what distinguishes them, what makes the difference of whether or not they're actually living that truth, just like you and I, or you know, whomever is today, is it in your everyday walk, your thought process. And I think when people are questioning Kamala, that is what they're suspicious of, because some of the things that she's done historically, for example, may contradict what, you know, central black thought is, which would be we need to fix our community. We need to be concerned about our own issues. We need to be, demanding, healing, rehabilitation, reparations. But that also takes for us to, as you said, have important people who can be the mouthpieces of the community in those positions, in those seats. And also, and this is something that I have to say, it's just a critique of the community, and I'll step down from my soapbox, but we also have to be open to the unorthodox look of us. We are not all the same. We are all built so uniquely as God's children. And I think sometimes we get hung up on the respectability politics of things. As a community, as a church, as a foundation, however you want to look at it, on a social level as well. And so sometimes we tend to push away the folks who do have the right ideas. They may not be the best at explaining it, but they can definitely do the work, and they've very likely shown that experience. But because of a certain respectability or, making sure that we're getting approval, or, even in our own families, sometimes it's hard to talk to our families about what makes us unique.
Yes.
And that can have many different effects, but I think it's very important for us to be more accepting of each other in general. And that's where it starts. Caring more, having more empathy. That's why, creating these tiny homes or these villages, and not just that, but also having services, ways that you can continue to build community, ways that you can continue to contribute to society as well. If you are not necessarily a person who wants to go into politics, that's absolutely fine. But there's a lot of rebuilding that we're going to need to be doing right now and focusing on. I personally am not a Republican or a Democrat myself. I'm an independent, and when I don't hear what I believe philosophically is an independent mindset politically, that's where I get a little. I have stepped back from the fodder, pretty much.
But don't get off your soapbox, please. See, one of the things that's happening in our community, and that's why we do the show. We want to be a voice. We need to have this conversation, right? Because it got to come from us outward. We got to speak it. And we don't all have to agree on every point, but we should have these points of views out on the table so that we can really look at them and have people understand. You some things you hear people say you shouldn't put too much in it. You shouldn't let it be the thing that drives you and your decision how you gonna work in your community, how you gonna work in your family. I got people in my family I don't like. But God gave them to me. I didn't choose them, so I got to be able to adapt.
Yes, you do.
And adjust, right?
Yeah.
And say that God didn't make no mistakes.
No.
I might not see it like that when I'm dealing with some of them folks in my family that I don't like. I mean, I like that. I got to still love them.
Yeah.
I got this thing where I believe that you should hate the sinner and not the sin. I mean, hate the sin, not the sinner.
Not the sinner. Yeah.
You got to be able to do that, and you got to be able to communicate that to them in ways that's not so toxic. See, one of the things that I watch some of these shows that we watch that come through the media. I don't want my kids are all grown with kids, but I'm talking about my little blessings, my little bitty ones. I got some amazing little bitty ones now. They're my great grandkids, and I don't want them hearing that stuff, right? Because they think that's real.
Yeah,
they
don't know.
That's a good way to communicate. And that's not a good way to communicate because, life and death is in the tongue.
Yes, it is.
What you say.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to learn to listen to each other and respect each other, even though we might not like each other. I mean, me and my grandson, we fight all the time because we love each other so much. I've raised the boy, but he's grown now and then. He come back, he said, Papa, I'm sorry. He'll tell me he's sorry because he know I'm stubborn. If I got something I want to say to him, I'm going to say it. And I don't care how you react to it right now because you're not being realistic about your own self. So you got to stay on your soapbox. Don't get off of it because, see, you're making sense. You're making sense, and our community needs to know how to think past what the devil put in our past.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just got to. You know,
Yeah,
and
because he's a
everybody's
liar.
not gonna read the word like we do. You know, I sleep with my Bible. You know, but everybody's not gonna do that.
No.
So you got to meet them where they're at. You know, and sometimes it's kind of ugly where they're at. You know, it's kind of ugly. So you got to put on your soldier. You know, you got to put on that soldier and get back out there with them, because we know that something got to be done.
Right.
Yeah. So can I give you my I mainline this news every day, because my mama told me you need to pay attention. So I really have been paying attention. So this is my take. 31 days from November 5th, I think we're on the countdown. Okay, so you said something today at your meeting with your veterans, and you said neither candidate has really even came and done as much as they needed to do about veterans.
No, that's it.
Now, we all know that from the VA administration, because I work there, okay, that there is some stuff that needs to get fixed. Okay, it's not as efficient as it should be. There's all sorts of things going on in that system. So both of those candidates, I don't care who wins, but they both need to start to address this VA system in a substantive way. So, Kamala and Trump need to start talking to your organizations and figure out, number one, what they can do better. That's the first thing. Now, let's talk about black men. For the last 72 hours on every news station, they're talking about black men don't want to vote for Kamala. Okay.
And that's a bunch of
First of all, that's not true. But not true. There is a small subset of the younger brothers out there that ain't going to vote for anybody. They're not going to vote.
They're not going to vote.
Okay, because they don't see what's in it for me. So there's a couple of issues I want to just throw out here, right? Now, y'all might not agree, but there's two issues I think will actually resonate with the brothers who are 18 to 30. I'm going to go all the way up to 30. Definitely 18 to 25, but all the way up to 30. And Kamala is in a unique position to address it. Criminal justice. So these brothers, all of them, they're getting arrested at 14, 15, 16 for nothing. Being in the wrong place, wrong time. And that stays on their record. So now they get the background check run. They can't get the job.
You can't go in the military.
They can't go in the military, all right? For offenses that they shouldn't have been arrested for in the first place. So that needs to be done. The other thing is, and this actually happened in Maryland with the governor, Wes Moore.
I love him.
Wes Moore.
I love him at Wes.
Okay? He made these marijuana charges go away.
Yeah, I love it, man.
He made them go away.
I love what that veteran is doing.
And he is working toward getting all them records expunged. That's a clean slate for these folks that have been caught up in this criminal justice system. So I think that needs to be at the platform of whatever politician is smart enough to see that that's important to the black male, because they're the ones that are getting arrested more than everybody else, right? And then the other issue is this changing, because I'm a pharmacist, changing where they look at marijuana